Hello guys, in this video tutorial I'm going to go through the Editor WordPress plugin that's been recently released on Code Canyon. I've been asked to create a video tutorial explaining its functionality. I guess that the description given haven't been um, detailed enough for you to understand what is it about, so let's go through it. First of all, Editor is a free library that's been released on GitHub that gives you the ability of embedding a simple code editing area anywhere on your site. So here's a sample of this embed. As you can see, there's some HTML file in here within the iframe that's surrounded by a border, and there's a menu entry that lists all of the files that have been added to the embed, and you can select a couple of them, change, and it affects this dark area inside. So here there are all of the HTML files that have been added to the embed. There are all of the CSS files that have been added here, and there's also JavaScript area, which gives you the ability of adding any JavaScript code. I haven't uploaded any JavaScript files, hence there's nothing below this entry. So this embed can be changed. Let's change the background color of this area. Let's go to the last file of the CSS. Because there's a priority applied to the files. CSS is applied to all of the HTML files, so it goes from top to bottom because the last one loaded is the bottom one. Let's change the background color to white, and as you can see, the result is affected. The background color has changed. You can do the same with HTML and JavaScript, so let's add some alert here. Oh, okay, nothing's been added yet, so yeah, let's add. So let's add some HTML. Okay, you see there's some random text displaying in the alert. Now let's change the HTML, let's add a new input, let's copy the whole code and let's paste it here, and there's also the same. There's this element, these elements have been added here. Editor WordPress comes bundled with a couple of themes. As you can see, these are applied to the code editing area. As you can see, this light theme changes the background color to lighter one. It's some cream color compared to the black by the default one. It comes also bundled with a couple of views. There's the horizontal view, which splits the array into two equal regions horizontally, and each one of them has different. And the top one is the area for the code edits. There's the HTML part. There's the CSS part in the middle. I'm sorry for that, and there's the JavaScript file on the right. There's also a vertical view, which splits the array into two equal areas. Well, actually they're not equal, but they are left and right areas here. And there's the last one, it's Cartesian view, which splits the view into four different areas, each one of them being of the same size, and it's quite easy to see which part corresponds with what menu entry. So what does the Editor WordPress plugin do? It saves a lot of time. It gives you the ability of managing and uploading editor embeds with ease. There's a shortcode editor and there's a simple file manager that saves all of the mumbo jumbo connected with manual uploads via FTP client and manual instantiation of the editor, which is quite complicated for non-technical people, because having an embed requires you to specify different settings that require code edits. Editor WordPress doesn't need any code edits. So I'm going to the dashboard panel of my WordPress installation. I have already installed the plugin by add new, upload, select the file, and then just choose the zip file that has been downloaded from the Code Canyon. Then install, etc. You'll see that new menu entry will appear, Editor WordPress, that corresponds to all entries and gives you the ability of managing them. There's also a settings section, Editor WordPress settings, that has two main sections. The first one is Editor WordPress defaults, and the second one is other. Defaults are all the settings applied to a default editor embed. So you can have multiple entries and you want to change all of their settings at once. So you can do it from here. You can choose a different view, you can choose a different theme, and you can force read-only setting, which corresponds to nobody will be able of editing the code online. And wrap by default makes the HTML part of the code being wrapped, so there's no bottom scroll bar, and there's also other section which gives you the ability of loading jQuery plugin provided with EditrWP. In certain situations, your theme may be too old and editor won't work. In case it will happen, you will have to set the setting to 1 and it will load a newer jQuery for you. This loads the newest JavaScript library that's responsible for the embeds, and it overrides the default one you're using and most probably will solve any conflicts occurring. But you have to do the tests on your own and check if the JavaScript areas of the site render where these might be sliders or any dynamically editable parts of your site that probably use some Ajax calls. So let's go through it and let's add some sample entry. Unless we have something added there. Yeah, there's something added. So let's remove it. Here. Let's add a new entry. As you can see, that's the default area of editor embeds. There's the section to add or drop or select files. Let's name it editor test demo. Let's select files. There's some sample project added to the EditrWP files under the project directory. I'm going to use these files right now. These files are added. As you can see, there's a simple icon that denotes the file. Let's publish this demo, and as you can see, there are also all of these files that have been uploaded to the demo are here listed below, and you can, by pressing the delete the file, you can remove them, and there's also an icon identifying the type of the file. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate how easily can an editor entry be embedded without any programming knowledge. Let's add a new post. It's called editor embed demo, and there's a new button above the content editor area. You can click on it and then choose a different setting here. Let's pick editor test demo. So you can see that all of the files that have been uploaded are listed here. I can drag and drop and change their order. I can force default settings, and this will apply settings that have been set on the settings section of WordPress. I can also change the theme. I can choose a different view. I can force to read only all of the files to be read only and wrap HTML lines here. And then I can add specific settings to each file. I can hide it from the nav, and I can exclude the file from the nav at all, from the embed at all. So once I've made my choice and reorder files, apply the settings, I can insert the form. WordPress will input the editor shortcode inside the content area. That's gonna generate the embed. Let's publish it. And let's view the post. And here's my sample embed. As you can see, all of the settings have been applied. There's the result here. And there's a margin here because I've changed the order of CSS files, and the last one, loaded radio CSS, applies quite big margin to the embed, so this is the case why it's not in the middle. There's also, as you can see, there is a different first file loaded, and it looks quite differently compared to what I've been demonstrating previously. That's typical to what I've shown before. Now let's edit the post again, and let's change the embed type. Let's change this, let's pick this one again. And let's reorder the files. Let's for the default settings. As you can see, the shortcode is much shorter right now. It denotes that defaults are true, so it will apply all the settings that have been set here on settings, EditrWP settings. Let's update the post, and let's view it all over again. Okay. So here's the demo. The view, we're using the default view and we're not wrapping any lines, and the order has been specified. And let's now change the default editor WordPress settings and see if they are going to be applied to the embed. So let's change the view to the Cartesian, let's change the beam to the solarized dark, and let's force it to be redone. Let's check the changes and let's see if the settings have been applied. Yes, the view is, there is a Cartesian view applied, there's a different beam applied. As you can see, the background color has been slightly changed, and the rest remains untouched. I can't edit any code. I'm trying to edit the code, but it's impossible. Basically, that's it. This is the example of an editor WordPress. It's much easier to use than if you were trying to embed it on your own. So, in case you were interested, I encourage you to give it a try and embed it in your own site. Thanks a lot for your interest.